Hey guys, it's me, I'm41. Today I'm here with a video guide on how to farm memory fragment scrolls. And it is pretty simple, but it will skyrocket your progression straight to the moon, because frankly, early game grind and BDO sucks a lot. And I had to endure it too, and that is why I'm sharing this little strategy with you, because that is basically how I forced myself through all the early game grind and how I helped a lot of people just skip through it themselves. It is also how I got myself all my sovereign weapons, because I made them myself, and I made the black star weapons myself, all of them. And it was basically just thanks to this. And thanks to this, you can make up to 2 billion silver per hour yourself in a group grinding activity that is neither a group grinding spot, because you can do it in fact solo, and it is not a typical grind spot as it doesn't require any running around. So let's get right into it. For this video is split into multiple segments, so you can simply skip through them and find them via timestamps in the video description. But if you enjoyed this video, why not join the Discord? Link to the description below to either join just my Discord and chat with me, or even join my guild and serve the Supreme Leader. Me, anyway, on with the video. The first question that we got to answer is it worth it to run the scrolls? And to answer that question, there's 3 of them. There's scroll written in ancient language, there's a forbidden book, and there's ancient relic crystal shard. All 3 of them come from different sources, and all 3 of them actually work a little bit different with different amount of bosses. And my personal favorite is scroll written ancient language. The first option you have to decide if it is worth it for you or not is a website that I linked in the description. So you can simply check this website and decide for yourself if it's worth it or not based on this data. But this data is specifically for running them solo. You see how many memory fragments you get per scroll, you see the price that the scrolls cost, and roughly the memory fragment price. But those numbers are scuffed, because those are whatever clear times are entered here. So those numbers might not be true, but it's a good first impression. And that actually gets me to my own calculations. When it comes to calculating our own numbers, we actually only need 2 infos. The memory fragment cost, and the cost of scroll written in ancient language. If we have those 2 numbers, we can simply take the example that I came to the conclusion you run roughly 500 scroll written in ancient language per 30 to 45 minutes. And that gives you roughly 625 memory fragments. If we take all of those market informations into account, we come roughly to this conclusion here that 500 scrolls will give us 625 memory fragments, which gives us 2.25 billion in value in memory fragments, and roughly 1.015 billion in cost for scrolls in ancient language. And if we sell them, this will give us per 500 scrolls 897 million silver, and if we keep them 1.235 billion. Obviously, you might run only 500 scrolls per hour, but that is highly unlikely. It's more realistic that you run roughly 750 scrolls per hour, which is, I think, a nice average if you have at least 301 AP. If you're 290, you should also be able to be roughly that fast. All you need to consider is that you need to be decently fast, and the faster you are, the more you run, the more money you make. Obviously, that is a low end. If you're on the high end, you obviously make more. But the main point is, it is a decent amount of silver, even just with 750. Even with just 750 of them, we end up at 897.1.5. We would end up at 1.346 billion reliable per hour. And remember, you can sell all of that, or you can keep them. In that case, you would make even more, since memory fragments are used to repair your gear when you enhance it. So it is an item that you need, and it is an item that you can simply sell for quick money. The main point is, it is a good way to make money in the early game, especially if you have a group. And if you're solo, it is fine too. But you should always do this math first and check if it actually is making at that time more than your actual grind spot. But that is the math behind it. And I also linked the spreadsheet itself in the video description if you want to use it as well, or take a look at it. So feel free to do that as well. But that is when it comes to is it worth it or not. So here we come to the next step of this guide, which is preparation work. Obviously, when you want to run those scrolls, you gotta prepare for them, and it's actually not that hard. The first step is you need a bit of gear. You don't really need a lot of gear, but you do want to have at least 2 Valor gear, all your 2 Valor gear to pen. Obviously, the more AP you have, the better. You get a free pen blackstar, you get a free tat blackstar, and you should have a good chunk of AP already early on. So that is fine. The second step is you need to buy yourself those scrolls. In my case, scroll written in ancient language, those are the ones that I like to run. But the important part here is, if you want to run them, agree best case with people before you run them, maybe on a Discord server or something, and just pre-order them on the market. Don't buy them at the current max price, just pre-order them low and also look at the price development. You might not want to run them when they are spiking out and rather run them when they are rather low in value. Just pre-order them and have them if you want to run them. You also get them from running desert spots, and if you're grinding in the desert for something like the compass, you might as well have them anyway. But the main point is, if you pre-order them, they are cheaper. And you need them anyway. Depending on how long you want to run them, you also need a different amount, but I would pre-order at least 500 of them, because that is like 30 minutes to 45 minutes of running them. And the third thing you need to do is have a group. If you want to run it solo, you can skip this step. But if you want to have a group, you can either talk to your friends on Discord, talk to your guild members, or use the in-game party finder. You can either make your own party, or you can join one of them. For example, here there's Pillar Fee scrolls, which are those scrolls written in ancient language. You could join that group if you wanted to. So that is also an option if you want to have a group, and might not necessarily have people already preset. When it comes to buffs, you want to have a simple cron meal, which is simple enough. You want to have a demi-human drought, as that is a party drought, and all the bosses there are demi-human bosses. And on top of that, you want to have church buffs, but I think that is obvious enough. You just talk to the priest, hit the buffs that you need, attack, protection, done, easy. Those are the buffs you want to have. And when it comes to a group, I don't know if it's obvious enough, but if you make a group, take a Shy along, because Shy buffs are nice. Otherwise, other classes that gives buffs are Dosa and Witch and Wizard. So, you can take all three classes, but you should have at least a Shy. And that is all the preparation you actually need. Now you're ready, and you can start running the bosses, and that gets me to the last part of this video. Now let's get to actually running them. The first thing you want to do is, you want to combine the scrolls you have. All you have to do is hit this combinables pouch here, drop your scrolls in, hit the... If you had more than 5 like me, you could just drop them all in, but you just combine them. You have your scroll, you can combine multiple at once, just drop all of them in, combine as many as you can. And just right click your scroll and go to where it leads you. When you're actually there, you will notice that there's a diamond shaped structure there, and all you have to do is talk to the structure and drop up to 5 scrolls at once, and all of your party members will have to drop up to 5 of them in. But dropping in 5 is the most amount of loot from one single run, so you always drop in 5 and all of you drop in 5. You don't need to have 5 people for it, but if you have 5 people, it's obviously a lot faster and more worth it. If you only have like 2 or 3, you can also just run them solo. And from here, you just kill the bosses and collect the loot. It's pretty straightforward from this point onwards. So, this is the group variant, but what if you want to do it solo? If you want to do it solo, you just take your combined scroll, and instead of talking to the pyramid, you just go to the location that it leads you to, hit right click on it, and just do it the old classical way. This is the old way of doing it. The other one is faster, but obviously you can do it this way as well. The main thing is, this is actually pretty easy. All you have to do is just collect the loot. And in the case of the solo run, you get those boxes, open them, and you're also done. It's 7 memory fragments per run in this case. And you can do it both ways. Doing it in a group, I personally prefer, but do it however you want. But this is already the end of the guide. So just go ahead and tell me, do you actually run this? Or am I the only person doing memory fragment grinds like this? Anyway, go ahead and tell me your opinion on this. And if you enjoyed the video, why not leave a like, subscribe, and also check out my other videos. Anyway, that was all from me, and see you guys next time. Bye!